judge. After that, I'll administer the oath to the judge, and we'll close that portion of today's hearing with his testimony.
Mr. Chairman, when will we review Senator Blumenthal's motion to adjourn?
What's your question?
I renew my motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. I think we're entitled to a vote on it. The responses that, Mr. Chairman, you've given, with all due respect, really fly in the face of the norms of this committee, our traditions, and our rules.
Mr. Chairman, if I might add an additional point, I agree with my colleague. It is striking, given your long history of encouraging the executive branch to treat minority requests equal with majority requests, that you discouraged the National Archives from responding to Ranking Member Feinstein's request, which she tried to craft with you to be identical to the request for records from Justice Kagan. We should not be proceeding until we have the full documents that allow us to review the judge's records.
And Mr. Chairman, last Friday we learned that nearly 102,000 pages of documents from Judge Kavanaugh's work in the White House counsel's office are being withheld from the committee and the public based on a claim of constitutional privilege. Executive privilege has never been invoked to block the release of presidential records to the Senate during a Supreme Court nomination. This includes when Justice Kagan was nominated to the Supreme Court, as well as Justice Roberts. Yesterday, my colleagues and I sent a letter to the White House counsel asking that the President withdraw his claim of privilege over these documents so that they can be made available to this committee and to the American people. We have not yet received a response to that letter, so we should not be proceeding until we have a response and these documents have been available. It is 102,000 documents.
And Mr. Chairman,
my motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman, would raise this issue of executive privilege and whether it has been properly asserted for reasons that have been outlined well by my colleague, Senator Whitehouse. There is no valid claim here of executive privilege. Even if there were one, it has not been properly asserted. The question is, what is the administration afraid of showing the American people? What is it trying to hide?
And Mr. Chairman, using your own words in the statement you just read, you said, I quote, "We've had more than enough time to review the documents." Sir, we just got a document dump last night of over 40,000 pages. I would venture to say not one senator here has had time to read through those 40,000 pages. And so we are continuing to rush through this process, a process that deserves to be scrutinized. I support Senator Blumenthal's motion to adjourn, and I hope that we could at least have a vote on that motion.
Mr. Chairman, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a court in the country that would not give a party litigant a continuance when the party on the other side did a 42,000-page document dump after close of business the night before trial.
Mr. Chairman, we waited for more than a year with a vacancy on the Supreme Court under the direction of your leader in the United States Senate, and the Republic survived. I think the treatment was shabby of Merrick Garland and President Obama's nominee. The fact that we cannot take a few days or weeks to have a complete review of Judge Kavanaugh's record is unfair to the American people. It's inconsistent with our responsibility under Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution to advise and consent on Supreme Court nominees.